Hi everyone. I've always been a little wary of shooting slide film. It seems to be spoken and written about quite reverentially, and with warnings that you need to get the exposure pretty much spot on. I watched a great video by Matt Day a few years ago where he took multiple shots of this barn at sunset. He was bracketing the exposure up and down and metering for different parts of the scene. They were nice atmospheric pictures, but I think what I took away was another impression that using color reversal film is always a little complicated and a delicate science. Perhaps inspired by that in an upside down way, here I wanted to do the opposite. I just thought it would be fun not to think about it all quite so much and to give Velvia a chance to be spontaneous for a change. Nothing too crazy or adventurous, just some everyday scenes one afternoon around my hometown of St. Ives. So these are from one roll of Velvia 50 in one of my favourite point-and-shoot cameras, the Fujifilm Class W. It has a fixed 28mm lens, a minimum aperture of f2.8, and most importantly, an exposure compensation dial on the front. It was a very bright day, so I set this to +1/2 stop and mostly kept it that way. This was all about not thinking too much, something that isn't usually one of my talents. If I'm going to go out with a point-and-shoot camera and be spontaneous and unthinking, the least I can do is come back home and write an essay about it. That's a happy compromise, I think. As I have suggested, I'm pretty new to slide film. I may have shot a roll about 10 years ago, but this is my first time in recent memory, and certainly the first time for this channel. When I think of slides, I always think of my nana and granddad, who also used to live in St. Ives. I still have a box of slides annotated with my nana's handwriting. Just holding one or two of these up to the light of my laptop screen, I can see St. Ives back in the 1970s and 1980s. I remember my grandparents occasionally projecting them in their house. They would draw the curtains in the afternoon, blocking the light from the windows as best they could. And I remember the fan of the projector whirring as we watched. The images were large and vivid, and soundtracked by family members commenting on the photographs, recalling where it was taken, and maybe laughing if the picture hadn't quite captured the subject in the most flattering way. The colours are reminiscent of those I took just this month in May 2020. The skies are a deep blue, and the greens are dense and saturated, but not especially unnatural. The greens remind me of my granddad. He was a gardener, and before that a photographer for a time. The reds make it look as if everything that colour in town has been given a new lick of paint, perhaps for the special occasion of having its photograph taken. I'll say I'm not the most technical photographer, but I can see the lower dynamic range of these Velvia shots. The blacks crush easily, and a couple of the town's white walls feel a little washed out. I hate to see highlights blown out, but I don't think that's quite happened here. Black at least creates a presence in the picture, while pure white feels even more like a void to me. I'm much happier with the loss of detail in the shadow. It adds a little drama that I often like when I'm editing my digital photos. I'm really happy with the richness of these shots. It's a great film for bringing out the quietly spectacular in the everyday. It has a reputation for being perfect for warm colours, and perhaps another time I'll shoot only at golden hour. So thanks for letting me share these quite simple shots with you. I would have invited you all round my house to watch them on a projector, but I'm not sure I have the space, or a projector, come to think of it. YouTube will have to be our plan B. Thanks for thumbs-upping and subscribing. Links to my Instagram accounts and to buy Velvia 50 film are below. Thanks again everyone. See you very soon.